surprised to hear that these three people are enemies of Nigeria. One of my favorite Igbo proverbs says that what a dog saw and started barking is the same thing a goat will see and merely grunted. As young as I am, I have seen so much in this country that when people are barking over a thing, I just sigh. Yet, we are reacting to the same stimulus. Inside me, I thought, what else do you expect? What do we expect? How can we sow the wind and not expect to reap where you sow from? You can imagine. I have studied the history of Nigeria. I have lived through 13 administrations. I'm old enough in 11 of them to be able to distinguish between my right and my left hands. I have researched into key issues per time, per administration as well. I have observed so many things. Nigeria seems to be permanently on auto replay. So all I do these days is sigh when people scream. For instance, as far back as 14 years ago, I foresaw and wrote about a looming public disorder and insecurity fueled by inequality and corruption. Although I must confess that not in my widest imagination could I have predicted the widespread carnage we are living with today. But you cannot have a country where over 70% of its people have been living below the poverty line for decades and think that there would be no explosion at the same point. Can you imagine that? You can't have a country with borders as porous as a safe, plus for security agencies that are insanely corrupt and ill-equipped, and think anarchy would not even descend on us someday. So you can't have a political system built around a rentier mentality and primordial sentiment and assume that Nigeria would be all fine. No way. Economic hardship, ethnic rivalry, religious crisis, political tension, violence, and insecurity have been part of our makeup for ages. From administration to administration, from president to president, some issues are, as we talk right now, as we are saying right now, are perennial, under seasonal. They only take different coloration and intensity per administration. In my undergraduate days, I used to easily get excited to jump on the bandwagon to blame our problems on one person or one part of the country. There is hardly nothing people are campaigning for today that I did not even patrol in the past. Based on popular but Jude's opinion. As I'm saying now, I have become less emotional and more dispassionate in looking at the Nigerian malias. We have been changing leaders and parties, but Nigeria remains largely the same. Why? Why this? Why are we not moving forward? Why would we keep being or staying where we are not supposed to be? Why are we still remaining stagnant? Why? As we begin to discuss the 2023 elections, I can see excitement in the air yet again, prepared and also permutations. We are going to get a new president, new governors, new ministers, new commissioners, new agency heads, new board members, name it. We love new things in this country. We renew our hopes at election times, expecting some change in our fortunes. But it is the expectation that kills us. Do you know that? It's the expectation that kills us. And we're not aware of that. In an article I wrote before the 2019 general election, entitled Hunting on the Inside, I urge that Nigerians have become adepts at falling in love with politicians every election year. But the heartbreak never seems to stop. Yet, in the voice of Peter Toch, the Nigerian will say, I got to pick myself up, dust myself off, and start all over again. Hope can be quite stubborn and pretty stupid. So we all have our position and perspectives on why Nigeria is like this. Some would urge that, or some will argue that it is because there is no true federalism or regionalism, that students are learning chemistry without chemicals. We have this in many government secondary schools in the southwest. Some are of the opinion that it is because there is no Republic of Biafra that many state hospitals do not even have beds and drugs in the southeast. Some are convinced that it is because there is no resource control, that the NDDC has literally burnt 50 million US in 20 years. Up north, many believe that it is because there is no full Sharia, that they are objectively poor and neglected. Some will even say that it is because of fornications and adultery, not poor sanitation and unclean water, that they suffer yearly outbreak of cholera. My views are slightly different. Anyone familiar with my writings in the last 18 years know that I have persistently pursued a different line on arguments on the Nigerian condition. Today, I will focus on 3 enemies of Nigeria that I have often identified as the enablers of the countries on their developments. These are: 1, our concept of political leadership; 2, our concept of followership; 3, our concept of development. Our concepts are based on wrapped mindsets, some of which we inherited. If this mindset does not change, then Nigeria will never change. That is the humble truth. A scripture says that as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. Our mind have been conditioned to interact with Nigeria in particular ways. This mindset control how we see and do things. We badly need to restructure our minds. Let's start with our concept of political leadership. So viewers, you have heard the 3 problems of Nigeria. The problems are not from the citizens, but from our head. the way they have been doing things, the leaders of this country, the way they have been managing the citizens, not giving them what they need, employment. That is it. So viewers, what is your take on this? Please, I urge you to drop your comments below the comment box. After listening to this news, please, I would like to know how you feel about what you just heard. If I'm making sense or not making sense. Your comments and whatever you say in the comments will justify. So, drop your comments, as I've said before. Click on the subscription button as well as the bell button to receive notifications whenever we upload new videos. Thank you.